started, and I can't like during the show, not. But at the beginning of the show, there was something serious that I had to talk about, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, then it must have been not that serious.
One thing for anybody who, I'll give them like just a minute to tune in. I'll give them a minute to tune in, but I want to talk briefly about the school supply program.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like they're getting ready to do that.
Is it
tomorrow?
Oh, I thought it was like happening already.
And maybe it is, but if it's not happening already, it's definitely happening tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, because we have one more week of August. Maybe I'm bummed about that. I'm like really emotional. I feel really sad. I don't know why.
Is it because of what we were talking about before we went live?
Yes. I'm very sad. Can't watch porn.
Who's there? It's Rahr. Who's there? It's Rahr. Come fill your time. This pod's for all. From the Finger Lakes, join in the call. Learn something new about the Cuca Trail. Upstate New York, every episode I tell. Who's there? It's Rahr. Who's there? It's Rahr. It's Rahr.
Makes sense.
It's a pretty impressive amount of school supplies they've got over there, though. You know, like at Millie's, they've got like 2 storefronts.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So like the one whole side is just entirely filled with school supplies.
Oh my God. Where do they get all the supplies from? Like donations?
Donations. And then I don't know if they've got grants or what the whole situation is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that some of it's donated,
right?
At least a good portion of it.
I got Portia's like list, and it's like 7 items or whatever. It's like,
is that all?
She doesn't have a lot. She's like, you have to buy like a folder of each color, pencils, markers, whatever. And a pencil. The pencil box is the big thing, right?
Right.
I'm like, Portia,
you got to get a cool pencil box.
Yeah, apparently. So I'm like, I can pick up a lot of these things. She's like, I want to do it. Because she thinks I'm gonna like mess it up or something.
You are.
Totally mess it up.
Because you're not going to get the thing that like her friend has.
She's going back to. She hasn't been in school for over a year and a half.
Right. So she's got to make a good impression.
Well, of course. I mean,
could you imagine walking back into school after a year and a half?
I'm anxious for her.
And
wearing masks because now they have to wear masks.
But can you still?
Yeah, no.
Still.
It's going to be really like overwhelming.
Are they like doing all the other stuff, or is it just masks?
I don't really know. I think, and we have to.
Is it like a lot of craziness?
Maybe. I mean, everything's going to change. I mean, I think I'm so, like I've said this numerous times, I'm so out of the loop. I don't watch the news. I don't know anything. Like I didn't even know there's a hurricane hitting Connecticut. Like my parents told me this yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
They're like, Marianne, we're underwater.
Well,
literally, we're building an ark right now.
Oh my gosh. I'm like just nervous, but my mom, so get this. My mom said she woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the news. And now I'm like, I don't want to watch the news because it wants to alert you, but it also wants you to be scared and buy lots of like toilet paper.
They want nothing more than you to be in fear.
Exactly. And we had this conversation a couple nights ago. And I think I want to be aware, but I want to hear it from you guys. How about you just tell me what I need to know, and then I'll need to know that.
Me?
Yeah.
Like me specifically, or them?
You have more time to tell me what I need to know.
Them.
I need them. You tell me what I need to know because I don't know shit.
What do we need to know that's going on right now? I'll tell you one thing. Couple things. One is, and I put these in the description. A couple of these. One is we're almost at the end of Cuomo's 14 days. And so we'll see if this 14 days lasts 14 days or if it lasts a year and a half or more. I'm hoping that he really meant 14 days this time.
So did he say I'm in office for only 14 more days and I'm done?
Yeah. Oh. So Tuesday should be his last day. And of course the lieutenant governor says, yeah, I didn't sign off on that. Like 14 days. Come on.
Oh, so you think it's going to be sooner?
She didn't want 14 days, but she said, okay, whatever it is, what it is. He's the governor. So he resigns when he wants to resign.
Okay.
'cause he does whatever he wants to do.
Right.
He's making all these laws and stuff in the meantime.
What?
Yeah, he's been very busy during this 14 days.
So what is he doing?
He says he's going to resign, and then but give me 2 weeks to like, I think he was just waiting to see if people would change their mind and be like, oh no, like if there was another crisis that pops up that he could use to say, oh no, I really need to be in control still. But he's, well, one thing, for instance, is that he put in a requirement that would go into effect like over a month after he's out of office, to require all healthcare workers in New York State to be vaccinated.
Required.
I
don't believe that should be necessary.
Well, maybe we'll see. I mean, she's been pretty quiet, I think.
Right.
But maybe we'll see our first female governor wait until she's in office.
Right.
And not really talk a lot about it until after she's in office, and maybe she'll be less of an authoritarian.
I'm curious to see how she's going to take over. Like, did you see her when she popped in? She was in the Finger Lakes not too long ago, right?
Yes.
Just see the where Blue Heron Bakery.
Yeah.
And the
she
other
comes
places.
through from time to time.
I've never met her.
She's been here. I mean, the current person, who's, I'm not going to even mention his name.
Come on.
Oh, God damn it! You try to do one thing. And let's not give the guy a platform, all right? No. Let's take his power away. And he's never been here. He's never been in Yates County in his entire life.
Oh. Wow.
Yep.
Something to be said for that.
She's been in every single county in New York State. So that's at least something.
That is something.
I'm not saying, I don't know what she's going to do. I really don't. But
okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll give her a chance. But at the very least, we can say going into it that she's at least been here.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, you have to experience.
Maybe, like, I'd rather somebody that's never been here but
mm-hmm.
really wants to make good decisions
mm-hmm.
than somebody who's been here and makes horrible decisions. You know, like, I really care about what their policy decisions are. But it's nice to at least say you've been there.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this transition of 14 days.
Yep.
So we were talking about porn like a second ago, right?
So there's in the news, OnlyFans apparently is banning pornography so that it can get back to what it originally was supposed to be.
Tasteful nudity.
No, it was supposed. No, it wasn't. Nudity wasn't even supposed to be part of it.
It wasn't.
It was supposed to be people who were influencers of some sort, or people who had some kind of skill, or celebrities.
Okay.
For them to have an opportunity to basically create some kind of work, and people to be able to pay to see it.
What's old?
So like,
when you say only fans?
Only fans. Everybody stop down to the only place where they will no longer be doing pornography.
No more pornography at the only place.
No, only fans.
So it's a website?
So, as far as I can, everybody, believe me or don't believe me, I don't know all the details. I'm not part of the OnlyFans kind of environment. But from what I can understand is it's like a subscription website mm-hmm. where people do like interact with their fans, and their fans pay them a subscription to be part of that club, to have access.
So
fans pay for access.
Fans pay for access to nudity.
To whatever.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't meant to be nudity as far, like, that's what they say. It wasn't, and now I'll tell you what, that from what I've learned, like from what I understand about OnlyFans, is that's like their major
revenue.
Yeah, well, that's like what most of their people are doing. That's what most of the users are doing.
Why would you pull the plug on something like that if you're making bank?
Hate money. They hate money.
What?
No, what I think they said something about.
Hate money.
They said something about that, like their payment processors were. So basically, I think it's a cop out to be able to potentially go public.
Oh.
It's a
okay.
They're doing it so that they can basically get in the good graces of probably PayPal or Square, or who knows, like the credit card processors.
So for them to get bigger, they have to let the porn go.
Yeah, and we'll see. It's a bold move. It's a bold move.
I would think you would want more porn.
I think Pornhub is one of the biggest like online sources of revenue that exists.
There's so much money that people waste on things like that, but okay.
Yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it?
It is pretty cool.
So anyway,
Moving
I don't
on.
know. We'll see what happens there, but
if anyone
we were just joking before the show that they were having a fire sale. Like they're not holding anything back.
No, they're not.
I'd imagine, you know. And meanwhile, for businesses that are hiring,
yes,
they're like, oh, well, let's see how this works out for us. They're just waiting for these mostly young ladies to
come back to work. So
to lose a source of income.
I was
because it's a big source of income for some. There was a nurse who got like targeted for being she had like some risque photos that were found on the internet.
Okay.
And they were like, oh, you can't do that. And they slapped her on the wrist. Like 6 months later, her coworkers went and dug and found her, I think, on OnlyFans. And they took it to the administration, and the administration said, well, you can either be a nurse or you can be on OnlyFans. And she said, well, I'll just be on OnlyFans, though. I don't want to be someplace where they don't let me do what I want with my free time.
Oh my God. Let's talk about that a little bit more. I don't think that's appropriate.
Right. So she's making like 6 figures per month.
I'm doing something wrong here.
She's making 6 figures per month using OnlyFans. She was making more money. It was supposed to be a hobby. Like it was supposed to be a hobby.
Porn is a hobby.
She just liked it. Like her and her husband would do it, right?
Oh, because she's just taking pictures.
Yeah, pictures and videos and whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, and with her husband, right? Mm-hmm. So now, meanwhile, the whatever hospital or whatever she was working for said, yeah, you can't do that. And she said, they're paying me more than you are. She loved nursing too. She said she liked nursing. But
now she doesn't really have that income right now.
But she just didn't want them
I don't think it's
controlling her life. I don't know. Her home life.
Let's if I was doing something like that, and if Joe, my boss, stumbled upon it, I don't think he'd be like, I think he'd be like, this might be good for business. I don't really know. Like, you know what I mean? I just don't think I'm thankful I don't have a boss that would be like, you can't do that.
Right. It has no impact on your ability to provide care.
No, I think more people I think it would create more revenue for the hospital because more people would want to get injured so they can meet the nurse.
Oh, that's not how that's not. I don't think that's.
I think it's a potential.
Yeah.
Possibility right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel for that woman. I hope. Well, now she doesn't have that income right now.
Well, I don't know. I've seen inklings of that there might be loopholes for people, so we'll see.
Okay. We'll see. Let's keep our fingers crossed for her and everybody else. We probably have an audience member.
I wish everybody luck with whatever they choose to do.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to remember that sex work is work.
It is work.
And you own your body. So
nobody else.
You should be allowed to do what you want with it.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Right. That's good to know. Well, thank you for catching me up on that information.
See, these are the things.
These are the things
that you need to know.
Jesus. So go ahead.
No, you're up.
I was gonna say, it's fall time. Well, it's not fall yet, but it's like at the
end. Don't put me. Okay. You're gonna have me one foot in the grave.
Okay, but it's wedding season.
Ugh.
I know, but it's like, oh my God! Did you see that Bailey's engaged?
No.
Oh my God! Bailey got engaged at Abandon.
Oh,
last Thursday. Congratulations, Bailey.
Congratulations,
who is
Bailey.
Engaged. I'm so excited. And it's her first wedding. So this is really exciting.
You're not supposed to say first.
Well, it's her first. So it's good. It's her last.
No, you just say she's never been married before.
So we want to
don't put a number on it.
A shout. Oh, I feel like.
Wait until I tell you what's the real party is the fourth one. Like what?
To the same person.
Oh.
Have you ever met someone who was married, divorced, the same person?
I met somebody who was married and then divorced and then married somebody else.
Yeah.
and then got divorced and then married the first person again.
Okay. Wow.
Which is like,
That's
come on.
Weird.
Come
like,
on.
Why would you do that again?
Why would you do that again?
Do you need just marriage overall?
Don't do that. No, it's not that. It's just like it didn't work. It's not going to work. It's not the same. I mean, they're the same person. I know that they
Okay, so I think people can learn, and most people I think want to learn after a first failed relationship,
Sure.
marriage, whatever, because
yeah.
maybe a lot of people don't do any self-reflection whatsoever. I have, and I think other people are. The more people I talk to about it, I just love talking to divorcees because I
Yeah.
just like to pick their brain and listen to their story, and I'm learning that people are not just saying, "Oh, it's her fault or it's his fault." It's just like, I know I did something wrong, and I'm trying to understand what I did wrong, and I don't want to do it again. But what I'm also hearing too is that relationships are a lot of work.
Sure.
And you need to treat the other person like don't take them for granted. And I know I've done that in the past. And I think a lot of us have done that in the past because that's why a lot of us are single or whatever the reason might be. But I just think that's something that we should really explore and talk about more.
Yeah, totally. You should see, and I think a lot of it in its root is I always thought it was a failure to communicate, and I still do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I really think that that's one of the major things that makes it difficult for people. But there's also a failure to grow, or like not even, or maybe just not realizing that you should. Like not having grace with the other person, or not realizing that what you said a minute ago, you're right. People are different. People do change.
Mm-hmm.
And they always change. And it's like, whether there's somebody that has the mindset, there's certain things about them that don't change. But people who have the mindset that they can grow and change together,
yeah,
like that's the really successful ones.
It's
that
hard.
Like your life, look at everybody that you know that's had a successful marriage,
right,
for 20 years or more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that their relationship now is anything like it was 20 years ago?
No,
not a chance.
No way.
They might have a couple of the same things, but a lot of them, like they go from being like childless and like maybe we're buying our first house to now we're like trying to pay off our house.
Right.
Where the kids are out of the house. Like they've gone through this whole development in life.
Change.
It's like if they find the right person to do that with, that they can handle the changes.
Yeah.
And handle the growth.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Wild, right?
It's very stressful. I'm stressed about this conversation right now. Well, we have some friends that they drop their kids off to college, or they're going to. And, when kids are excited, they're going to go to college. They're going to have so much fun. They're going to learn a lot, meet new people.
Ladies.
And then the parents, I'm just thinking a couple of friends right now, and I'm like, this is a great time. You get to do whatever you want. And it's just like, no, that's that's one way of looking at it. But it's also like my purpose is gone. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So I'm just,
it's the logos. It's the meaning.
But from what I also learned when I was talking to a couple of customers at the bar Friday, empty nesters are great for employment. If anyone's looking for a job, I am looking to hire at the Water Street Wine Bar for just a few nights a week.
Yeah. So
if anyone's interested.
If your kids are going to college, or if you're losing your OnlyFans income, this is a great chance to fill that void.
I want you.
I mean.
Oh, that's funny. No, but lots of weddings are happening. And then I'm excited for Bailey. So, but it's the last week in August, and I think that makes me sad because we're heading into the next season.
No. Yeah, it sucks.
Why do you not like it?
Well, soon enough. First off, I got to tell you.
Okay.
As happy as I am to see all the people that I don't get to see as much over the summer.
Yeah.
I had so much momentum that I was building up.
Yeah. And
now it's like, okay, well, you want something that's going to get in the way of your momentum every single day? Go to the office. Like, here you go. And the thing is, a lot of people that much downtime don't do anything, or they go on a lot of vacations or things like that. But I thought I was trying to do good things.
Did you get your thing done?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And you know what? Not only did I get my thing done, but yeah, I didn't get any sleep this week. It was like, but I got it done. And
you're really good at this, waiting to the last minute and doing.
Well, I wasn't trying to wait till the last minute. I really wasn't. But I just had to push through the finish line.
Yeah, but you're really good at it and you do it all the time.
Right. But this time I started talking about that thing 6 months ago. And it just like for all the pieces to come together.
Yeah.
Didn't happen until the last minute.
I got you.
And meanwhile, dealing with all the damage from the
outlets. Let's talk about that. Like, so can we talk about that?
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you reviewed the outlet.
I went yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Did you and your crew come together and like, all right, we need to walk the whole trail?
No. Well, they've already been mostly out, and this was the first chance that I've had to get out. So I went and looked at the entire trail. I don't know if anybody's looked at the entire trail.
Were you on your bike yesterday?
Yeah.
I saw you. I waved, and you did not wave to me.
I waved.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't see.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. No, I did. I waved.
Okay.
The trail has some minor damage from Penyan to Ridge Road, Cascade, Mills Falls area.
Okay.
There are a couple spots where there's a little bit more substantial damage, but not horrible. I think it's reparable.
Okay.
Once you get between Cascade, Mills Falls, and Dresden, which is about the last 2 miles or so of the trail, or the first 2 miles, depending on where you're starting, Seneca Lake people.
Right.
Seneca Lakers. Anyway, that part's a little bit more impacted.
Really?
Yeah, there's like once you get down near Hopeton Road, there's like you can see where the water just ran down the trail.
Mm-hmm.
And it dug a trench like this deep right in the middle of the trail. Yeah.
Wow.
It's still really wet and soft down there, so we're trying to limit traffic.
Okay. So you've closed part of the trail off?
It's like we're not kicking people off of it, but we're just kind of asking people to reduce traffic.
Okay.
And you can see where a lot of people have gone through on bikes and walking through and otherwise, and it's going to add to the damage.
Oh no.
So
right.
It's not going to, I don't think it'll kill us, but
let the volunteers do their job. Don't get in their way.
Yeah. There's work to be done, and it is all volunteers. So it'll take some time, to get it all done.
Was Norm already down there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Saw him last night.
He's a good one though. And I talked to him right before the storm happened. He spent like a full day repairing damage on a couple spots on the trail, and for the most part those areas held up pretty well.
Good.
I felt pretty good about that they didn't wash out after he spent a whole day working on them. The one of the areas did get a little bit of damage though, so we'll have to keep looking at it and seeing how we can keep it going.
That's good. I know I went downstairs, looked at the basement. It got a little wet, and I'm very thankful. Like I don't have to worry about something like that because I live on a hill.
Right.
But I don't know if anyone else suffered from damage because at Cardinal we got a lot of calls for roll-offs.
Oh yeah.
People lost a lot of stuff, and they just needed to go through, and it's sad. It is very sad about that.
I know. I talked to the insurance company, and they were busy
for the trail.
No,
the insurance company.
The local insurance company.
Right.
And they were just busy.
Yeah.
And that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
So they were happy to do it and provide service when they can, but it's just busy. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
When it hits everybody, like flooding is one thing that just hits everybody at the same time.
Right. I mean, when I went down to look at the bar Thursday morning, was it after the storm? Was the storm Thursday night? The day after, I was looking, I'm like, the outlet was obviously brown, but I was like, oh shit, it's high. It made me nervous.
It still is high.
It is still high.
It's no lower.
No.
And it's not really it's not really taking down the level of the lake much either, because there's still water coming into the lake. I think it's just doing a little bit better than keeping up with the water coming into the lake.
Who opens the gate?
Clock. The Cuco Lake Outlet Compact.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not the municipal truck or the guys in the municipal, because I saw the guys.
I think they're the ones that like physically open it.
I see. Okay.
But they have a group of people that kind of sort out how that works.
So viewing all the pictures on Facebook and seeing the docks and boats were like I holy shit, that was crazy. But what really bothered me was that people are like, let's go like out on the water and have fun. I'm like, this was a serious issue. Like,
It still is.
It is right. It's like, guys, like,
and some of those people were stopped by the sheriff.
Were they?
Yeah. So
scolded.
So they've got a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit on the lake, and I believe it might be on Seneca too, but I'm not sure. Right. But the reason that's important, people don't realize that even if it looks fine,
right,
all that debris, a lot of it's just under the surface. Exactly. So you're going along, you don't know what you're going to hit.
Yeah, we were sitting outside the bar and I saw this big like branch come down, and like all of us like stopped to just watch it. It was kind of interesting how we all stopped just to watch this branch float in the water. And Charlie was at the bar and Charlie's like, oh, it's going to go through. I'm like, no, it's going to get stuck because it was long.
Right.
But he's like, it's going to shift vertical. But it did, but it got stuck. And eventually I know once the water is a very serious issue.
Water
it's very powerful.
Persistent.
It is.
And powerful.
Eventually did go down, but I just hope everyone's okay. And it's a sad situation. Thankfully, I don't have a boat or a dock or a house on the lake.
The other big issue with people causing anybody going fast on the lakes right now, not just for their safety, but one of the big issues, if you're a property owner on the lake, you're going to be pissed because that wake that they produce, that's hitting a different, like that's causing all sorts of extra damage.
Right.
The reason that they keep the lake at a certain level is to help prevent that damage.
Right.
So causing a wake when the lake is over a foot above its average, not good.
No.
Not good. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop being so selfish.
Stop it.
It's not about you. It's about others and their docks. What are you doing today?
Well, I got a lot of things I'd like to do. I don't know. I mean, there's such great music in Penn Yan today.
Gosh. Wait, where? Okay, so Laurentide. I can never make it there. God damn it.
You always make up an excuse.
No, I don't. Like, I listen. Like, totally. Well, so we're thinking.
I'm going on a boat,
so I'm not going on the boat. I want to clarify that.
Doesn't want to cause a wake.
I don't want to cause a
off
wake.
All the docks.
Not going on the boat. No, we're thinking about going to the New York State Fair.
Well, maybe you'll see Jessie there. You hear that, Jessie? She might see you at the New York State Fair. Yeah, why don't you go to the New York State Fair, Marianne?
So what's the live music, Bill?
Well, they've got the Appalachians still at the Laurentide, which is they're a fantastic band. They come in they drive in 5 hours to come play here.
Is it bluegrass?
Yep. And they always do back-to-back sets.
Nice.
They'll be starting right about the time we wrap up.
Noon.
Yep. So they always do a Saturday, Sunday gig here because it's a 5-hour drive.
No, I mean, it makes sense.
The guys were out drinking hot coffee in their suits yesterday playing.
Jeez, get out. Hot coffee.
Yeah, they'll be out there again today, I'm sure. So with their suits on in the middle of the day. So hopefully they can stay cool.
Cool.
And then Sam Swanson.
Where is he playing?
He's playing at the Burnt Rose.
Tonight?
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I love Sam.
Yeah.
He's a cutie. So he moved into his bus?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I think he's got to get a little bit more work done on it first.
Okay.
But yeah, he's getting ready.
Nice. Good old Sam.
Wacky, right?
Yeah.
Gonna just live in a bus.
Why
Sounds
not?
Awesome.
It's a pretty good idea.
It's not a bad one.
You can go wherever you want to go.
Okay. So I got to, like, on a different note that's not entertainment related. Just want to say something very serious here. Have you noticed the media flipping on Joe Biden lately?
Reminder, I don't watch the news, so explain this to me.
Have you noticed have you heard anything about Joe Biden lately?
No.
At all? Nothing?
No.
Nothing.
No.
Okay. So here's what's going on.
Okay.
You'll learn about it just at the same time as everybody else.
Perfect.
So here's what's going on.
Okay.
Even CNN is fact checking Joe Biden. They're bashing him. They're calling him incompetent. All these, CNN, who like couldn't wait to get him in there, is just bashing the hell out of him right now.
So what are they fact checking? Like, what's going on?
His speeches and press conferences. They come in, they're like, yeah, all this stuff that he said is wrong. They said, oh yeah, by the way, he basically designed the war on terror. He wrote the Patriot Act. He did, by the way.
Okay.
He, like, all these things where he's kind of said, yeah, we shouldn't be nation building. I never thought we should be nation building. And then they show in like 2003 where he gave a speech about that they should really be nation building and like things like that. Right. Okay. So they're just going back and, man, they're just hammering the guy.
Well, why?
Because he's actually getting them out of the war. So 60 years ago, Dwight Eisenhower gave this speech, this like now famous speech, decrying the military-industrial complex. And it kind of got it like on everybody's radar, at least for a little while, up until it kind of got talked about less after the 90s, even though it's still in full swing. But the military-industrial complex, where basically there's this coordination, there's a coordination of interest between the defense industry and keeping us in wars. So they like, right? Mm. So what Eisenhower didn't have to deal with that we deal with today is the 24-hour news cycle, right? With not only like the 24-hour TV news, but 24-hour internet news, social media, everything, right?
That's a lot, yeah.
The media makes so much money off of war that the idea of this 20-year-long cash cow that they've had to be able to just, anytime that things get into a lull, anytime there's a lull, they just bring up something that's going on in the war. It's either something with the war or somebody got shot or, whatever thing that they can make you scared about. COVID. Oh, there were like 5% positivity rates. It's a new spike, except for the only people getting tested are people that are actually sick, Right. Of course. So what we've got isn't just a military industrial complex. It's a military industrial media complex. Mm-hmm. And the media, I think, is like the third leg to the stool kind of deal. Right.
Okay.
So without the media, like pushing all of this, military industrial complex would fall apart. I think. I think it's all media. And so the idea that they see the military industrial complex fading,
right?
They're going to hammer Biden until he gets us into another conflict. They would love nothing more than us to bomb the shit out of Iran.
Well, we always have an idea that somebody makes money off of everything. War is definitely something. Yep. It's definitely something. I hate the fucking media.
Yep. Congress likes it because it, it causes whatever. It gets their bills paid, gets their donors to donate to them to keep us in war. But nobody wants us to be in war more than the media.
That's true.
They act like they're outraged about the situation of. So the one thing that they're really hammering him on is this withdrawal from Afghanistan and the fact that we're not getting the Americans out. Like, we're having a really hard time getting the Americans out. And
Mm-hmm.
then there have been issues with him, with the communications around that, right? So he says, oh, Americans are getting out. We're getting all the Americans out. We're flying them out.
Okay.
But then meanwhile, the city is surrounded by the Taliban. The city that the airport is in is surrounded by the Taliban.
Oh shit.
And they're beating the shit out of people who are trying to get in.
Who's beating the shit out of people?
The Taliban.
The Taliban's beating shit out of people for getting.
Like Americans that are trying to get to the airport. So now the Department of Defense is saying, hey guys, don't come. Don't come.
Oh my God.
And then I read this morning that the Pentagon just ordered basically every American airline to send 3 passenger planes
Mm-hmm.
to help with the evacuation from third countries. So like they would get flown out by the military from Afghanistan to, I'm not sure where they're staging it, but
Right.
to some staging area. And then using these commercial flights
Okay.
to then fly them to wherever their destination is.
Shit. So what else? So I had a customer saying that she was supposed to go to Dubai. Is that like another area that's being attacked, or
Dubai is a city.
Dubai is a city, but is it people are escaping? What's going on over there? Or you don't know anything about that?
Let's look. I know. So Dubai is a city in the United Arab Emirates. And so maybe they've just got some anxiety about it, but maybe there's something going on.
Do we know how many Americans are in Afghanistan still?
I don't know. That was actually a topic of conversation yesterday. Is they're saying around 10,000,
Really?
but somebody told me that if they say 10,000, it's probably 40,000. And I it goes one way or the other, right? So it's either 40,000 or it's like 2,000, just because they're either going to try to like blow something out of proportion,
Right.
or minimize it to fit whatever their narrative is. We'll see where that narrative goes.
So
But I don't trust anymore anything
no,
at face value.
no. I don't know. Maybe where is it? I don't know. How will the Biden administration deal with the media? I mean, this is not like a far-fetched concept. It's like, okay, we see what the media is doing, but we just keep moving forward and just stay in that direction of removing, right?
What will Biden do?
What do you think they're going to do? It's just like, because Biden's not going to be like, he's not going to call out the media on it. Like something Trump always did that.
The question is,
Mhm.
the question is not really what he's going to do about the media to me.
Mm-hmm.
The question is if he finishes his term or not.
You don't think he's going to finish his term?
I don't know. I think that there was always going to be, I think that they were waiting for this to happen. They were waiting for him to flub something, or to at least be able to create the narrative that he flubbed something,
Right.
so that they could like start saying, yep, shitty president, because there was never a plan for him to have a second term. So the question is, do they have a Republican picked out that is going to be the next evil person, and who they're going to like make win the next election?
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, it sounds crazy, but either they've got some Republican picked out that is going to win the next election,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to make sure that happens,
Mm-hmm.
or they've got Kamala Harris lined up, and whether they try to get her in the next 2.5 years, or if they wait until the election. But I think that they're setting him up to not, they're setting him up to be like not in the forefront of the conversation during the next presidential election, I think.
Okay.
He's old. He's old.
Well, I mean, they couldn't find anybody else. Like, I don't understand how we can't find anybody else who wants to be president. Or everyone's just like, fuck, I don't want to be president. That is a shitty ass job. That's a hard job. You think relationships are hard? Being the president of the United States,
they just needed somebody that they could use to get Trump out.
Well, yeah.
Because he said the quiet part out loud.
He said the quiet part out loud?
Yeah. The things that you're not supposed to say. He said those things out loud. So they had to get him out.
Yeah.
Biden doesn't know where the hell he is. They're worried that he's going to say something out loud.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Right?
But at the very least, now they've made him seem crazy enough that if he does say something, they can just be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I feel like we've always said this about Biden. It's like,
yeah,
they really got in.
Yeah,
Like,
for the
really?
past 49 years. Yeah.
What are you doing? Where am I?
And anybody who thinks that he wasn't, he was in office. The picture that they've been showing of the helicopter taking off, evacuating,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And comparing it to the evacuation of Saigon in the Vietnam War.
Okay.
He was in the Senate when that happened.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, he's been there the whole time. He's been there the whole time. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, anybody who says that he didn't create this, I mean, he didn't create it alone, but he was there every step of the way, and he wrote a lot of the really bad things that are happening right now.
Ugh. This is a very depressing conversation, Phil.
Yeah, but I had to. I just wanted everybody to at least take a second and think about the role of the media as the third leg of that stool,
Right.
and that the military-industrial complex is totally propped up by the media, and the media wants it more than anybody.
Yeah.
And that's why they're flipping on Biden. It's not because he's doing a bad job. He is. He is
doing a bad job.
It was going to be chaos no matter what. He is doing a bad job. The fact that they're not doing everything they can to get all of our allies out, like everybody who worked with us, that they were going to wait until we withdrew and then they were going to try to get out the refugees. Like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't leave these people who worked by our side for 20 years to just, I hope the Taliban doesn't cut your head off. We'll see what happens. Man, just like, that's horrible. That said, they might feign outrage over that. That's not really why they're upset. They're upset because he's actually following through with getting us out of the war. And that's the other reason that they couldn't let Trump win, is he was on his way to.
Trump was about to remove everyone from there?
He didn't do it. He had 4 years to do it, so I don't give him the credit for it, because in 4 years, he should have had our military out of the Middle East.
Right.
He didn't do it, but he was planning to.
Was he planning to? I mean, isn't he like one of those who makes tons of money, right, because of war? Isn't he one of those?
Yeah.
I mean,
they all are.
They all are.
They all are.
Yeah. I mean, they're all out there to win or get all that money and to keep us constantly in fear. Fear, people. Get your vaccines. Wear your mask.
Yeah, that's not. There's different things there, though. There's like different levels of fear there.
Yeah.
Like, they take an issue that should be between you and your doctor, like vaccines.
Yeah.
And they find a way they're like, man, how can we spin this to make people afraid?
There's a lot of money in it. Do you remember when the what is it? The not antibacterial. The hand sanitizers.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how much they for a bottle? It was like $60 or some shit like that. I'm just like,
yeah.
What? And now you get them for Aldi for like 69 cents.
I'll just get some vodka, or soap. Like soap and water.
Yeah. What a crazy concept. Oh, I'm so anxious for the next few months.
And emotional.
I am emotional. I woke up this morning. I'm sorry. I remember I got here and I'm like, I'm emotional. And Phil just looked at me. He's like, what the fuck? Where's Jesse? Jesse's at the New York State Fair.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jesse.
Marion's emotional. She's sensitive. Just one of those days.
Apparently, this is like a big tradition that the Janes and the Summers all go to the state fair every year. Yeah. And it was supposed to be next weekend, but they moved it to this weekend.
Oh. That's cool that the New York State Fair is happening, though.
Yeah, I guess.
You're not a fan of it?
I don't really care about it.
No.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, what's the big deal?
The butter sculpture, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the big deal is.
I just don't get, like, I mean, I just don't get it. Like, I'm fine that it exists. Like, I don't have anything against it.
It makes everyone happy.
But does it? Like, what?
Yeah, there's people want to spend their money on food, beverages,
Like,
games.
what's it all about anyway?
Rides. It's everything about New York State, all coming together.
I don't, just like what's
sausage?
What's
sausages?
What's
there?
the deal with the New York State Fair? Is it just like a big festival?
Yeah, there's music. Oh my God, 98 Degrees was there last night. So mad. I would love to see 98 Degrees. I don't know if you know what that is.
They failed to reach attendance of 40,000 people for the second straight day.
Oh, wow.
You can smoke marijuana at the New York State Fair.
You probably need to.
I don't like, I just don't, is it a nonprofit? No, it's the government. This is what happens when the New York State government plans a festival.
Yeah, but 98 Degrees was there.
Yeah, so was.
Oh, wow. Wait, look up who. What?
Look at his belly.
Well, everyone's got bellies. Don't stop it. There's something wrong with bellies.
I know, but just his specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not just bellies in general.
Okay.
So they want, okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna go to the about section. Sponsors, news,
host your event.
What's the deal?
What's the
deal?
So have you ever been to the New York State Fair or no?
Yeah, a long time ago. It's just not my thing.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not surprised with that, but that's okay.
All right, yeah.
Right.
Did it seem like my thing?
Well, there's cattle there.
Yeah,
tractors.
I got my fill of cows last weekend.
Did you? Oh yeah. Was Hawkeye mad at you because you left him again?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he had to deal with the puppies for the weekend.
Oh, how was that?
Oh my God. They were like, the one puppy wouldn't leave him alone. He would just follow him everywhere. He'd just follow him all around. And Hawkeye do the show his teeth, and then he'd knock the puppy over. Like could you leave me alone?
Hawkeye's definitely
seriously leave me alone.
The dog version of you.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Well, I don't bark at everybody.
The fuck you don't.
Not all the time.
Right. You don't bark at people. Yes, you do. You bark at everybody. If anyone upsets you or anything, you're like, burr, 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 burr. Just saying.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, exactly.
Burr, 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 burr. All right. Well, I hope that this Mountain Dew Rise is helping your emotions.
I haven't woken up this emotional in a while. It's just, it's weird. Like, I literally had to give myself that second to be just take a breath and be like,
what did you have to eat yesterday? Can we talk about that?
Oh my God, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. So, what did I do in the morning? Okay, so anyway, Kevin's because Kevin's like, let's go grab some lunch, right? And I'm like, I don't want to go Oak Hill. I just don't want to go Oak Hill.
Yeah.
So many people.
Screw you, Oak Hill.
No, didn't say that. Stop it. Love Oak Hill. But I was like, I just don't want to go there. He's like, let's go to Why Not? I'm like, yes,
Why not?
Let's go to Why Not. So we went to Why Not in Pulteney. Guys, it's definitely a must. If you haven't been there, you got to.
Yeah, if you haven't been there, why not?
You have to go there. The owners, Joe and Brian, are freaking awesome people, talented, very talented. And they had crab cakes over quinoa. And I had that because Kevin looks at me the first time that Kevin and I ever went on a date. We went to Halsey's, and he's like, "You like crab cakes?" I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking hate crab cakes, right?"
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just being nice, and I didn't eat any of it. He's like, "You don't want any crab?" I'm like, "Nice, nah, I'm good. I don't really care for crab cakes." So that's why when I ordered crab cakes last night or yesterday, he's like,
"Oh, you don't like crab cakes?"
I'm like, "Well, Brian is a professional, and
right.
I've never had anything that he has made that I didn't like, right?" So I ordered that. Kev ordered a sub, and we just sat outside melting because it was just the sun. I don't understand this weather. I can't. This hair, it's not good hair weather.
It's been very humid.
It's so much.
Yeah.
But the food was just great. And it was just nice not to be surrounded by so many people at the same time too. It was quiet, melting, but it was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And the food was, you guys got to go check it out. It's good shit. They're closed on Tuesdays.
Okay.
Yes.
What did you have for dinner?
I was working at the bar, so I didn't have dinner.
You didn't eat anything?
No.
What kind of beverages are we like? What are we dealing with here? Did you have Mountain Dew Rise yesterday?
No, I don't really drink this. I needed something.
I'm just trying to get to the root of why you were so emotional. I think maybe it was the crabs.
The crab cakes.
Or the quinoa.
Quinoa. What is that commercial? What is it? State Farm commercial, and they're at the football game, and the guy's like,
cable.
"Oh, well, no, it was like years ago. It was years ago.
I didn't have cable then either.
It was great. It was like,
I haven't had cable in 12 years.
It was like a guy pronouncing the word quinoa for the first time without ever like seeing the word quinoa before. If you did quinoa, I think he was saying, I don't know.
Quinoa. Yeah, obviously.
I guess so. And we also stopped at Stever Hill and had some slushies. Stever Hill added like an overhead for their dock.
Oh, cool.
Deck. I'm sorry, deck. And so I always confuse deck and dock all the time.
You just have to figure out if it's in the water.
That's it. It's a good place. So you guys check it out. You should totally check it out too. I think that's pretty much it. It was just mellow, but crazy at the same time. Like, this is my only day off. And then I go back to work.
Yeah. Well,
what's one place you want to go to that you haven't been able to go to yet?
What do you mean?
There's that new brewery outside of Geneva that I really want to go to.
Yeah, I tried to go there. It didn't work out.
What is it called again?
I don't know.
Okay. It's a French name, right? It's French, German.
Oh, yeah. It's named after that forest. Ardennes.
Yes. I want to go there. I want to check that place out one day.
Okay. Yeah, I want to. I don't know where I want to go. I want to go to a lot of places.
Well, give me two.
Want to go to Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay. Why?
To the Rahr and Sons Brewery, or as they pronounce it, Rahr and Sons Brewery. They've got great beer.
Do they?
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm not that every place I want to go is a brewery, but come on.
I think so.
It's in my blood.
It is.
The Rahr and Sons Brewery. And man, I don't know anywhere. I want to go skydiving. Never been skydiving. Just want to go jump out of an airplane.
No. When I was 18, but I need to live.
Well, I don't plan. I plan on using a parachute. I actually have to. I still have to find a time when I can go to Harris Hill. They've got the soaring museum thing there. You go up in the gliders.
Okay.
And I've got a gift certificate to do that.
You should do it.
I've got to go use it.
You should do
make sure that it's still good.
Okay.
Like, that they'll still take it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you should. Yeah. No, you should try to do that.
Yeah, I've got to do it. Yeah.
I was reading on Facebook. I don't know where this Mexican restaurant is. I think maybe it's in Geneva, but they posted, maybe it's not that, maybe it's someplace different, where a customer, I think, was like yelling at a restaurant employee and swearing at them and getting into their face. And the business went on there and just said, don't do that. Like, we are servicing a lot of people and you have no right to treat any of us like that, because when you see a clear table, it doesn't mean that you should just jump on it, which I see many people do that anyways. Like, give us some time.
Do you want us to stand and wait?
I mean, whatever happened, but I think
because like some places, the thing, it's confusing sometimes for the customer because you don't know whether, like, I don't know whether Marianne wants me to stand and wait, or if Marianne's one of those people that wants me to just sit the hell down and like take the table. Like she's busy. Should I make her do one more thing of walking 4 steps with me to a table?
Well, I don't really know what happened
but then maybe Sally, she would rather me sit down, but Marianne wants me to stand and wait.
It is confusing, but it would never get to the point where I'm going to yell at a person who wants to go to work and who's young. I think this person's like between the age of like 14 to 17, whatever. It was young. It was a youngster.
Yeah.
But it's like, because I came across something like that too. I don't know if I talked about this, where for some crazy reason, customers are taking the wine glasses over to the Union Block, and I don't notice.
Taking your wine glasses?
Yeah, they're taking my wine because they purchased the wine and they're not done with it, but the tables are ready at the Union Block. They eventually like bring the glasses over, and I'm like, okay, whatever, what's going on? But I'm not monitoring all these people.
You hear that, people? You can just walk out of the Water Street Wine Bar with pretty much anything.
It seems like it, right? So I guess like this group of ladies went over there, and the employees were like, you can't bring outside beverages to another restaurant. That's just it's common sense. It's just common sense. And they like freaked out and started swearing at this hostess who's a young person. And they're like, you need to go. You just get out. So I think they decided to go to Top of the Lake or whatever. But I'm like, what is going on with people? Why are you don't yell and scream at people. Like we're all of us are doing our best, and don't bring outside beverages to a different establishment.
People
That's
need
just
to grow
not
up.
Right.
People need to grow up.
No.
I went to an event a couple weeks ago, and it was when the spike was starting in Yates County.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they've got like 7 cases now, which puts us, according to the CDC, as a substantial risk.
Because we have 7 live cases.
But they only tested like 40.
Right.
So it sounds like a lot.
Right.
Because they're only testing people that are actually sick. So just keep in mind that statistics are manipulated.
Yes.
And they're like,
everything is.
You can't do anything as a statistic unless you're testing randomly.
Right.
We're not testing randomly. We're testing people who are sick.
Right.
And oh my gosh, some of the people that are sick have COVID. I'm shocked. Anyway, so this increase was starting, at least in the way that they calculate it.
Right.
And I went to an event, and I was caught off guard that they had a table out with masks and said that everybody has to wear a mask at this event. And I'm like standing there reading the sign, and I kind of I look in like, shit, everybody's got a mask on. And I'm like debating whether or not I want, if I really want to go.
Right.
Right. I don't have to go. I could just leave.
You could choose not to go.
And not be part of that.
Right.
But I really did want to go. And so I'm sitting there thinking about it. And one of the people hosting the event comes out, and she's like, hey, Phil, are you going to yell at me now? And I'm like, why? What? Why would I do that? She's like, because of the masks. And I'm like, no. Would it help? No. I'm debating whether or not I really want to come, because I don't really want to wear a mask.
But she thought that you were going to yell at her?
Well, so I got down to the bottom of it, was that somebody just had.
Oh.
And she just thought, oh, here comes another one.
Well, the fact that she thought you were going to yell at her,
well,
I mean,
she knows better.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to, but I was standing there looking at it like.
I can see you get huffy about it. Wow.
Yeah. I was just like, we finally loosened up. We finally got to where it's not required everywhere. There isn't a real spike. It's a fake spike. It is a spike in some places. I won't beat around that, but it's not a spike for vaccinated people. It's not a spike for rural areas so much. It's a spike in the same places it's always been a spike, mostly minority communities, mostly cities, whatever. Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you go in?
Yeah, I went. I had to. Well, I didn't have to, but I'd planned to. I'd been planning for weeks to go, and so I went. But
you put a mask on?
I put on a mask for an hour.
Okay.
And I just sat there and was kind of frustrated by it the whole time. But whatever, you know.
Okay.
It's just a matter of you got to make that decision of if you're gonna live with it or not.
Well, and again, it's like you make the choice if you want to go in or not. And if
Yeah.
you do decide to stay, don't be a douche.
Yeah, you just like it's not going to change anything.
No.
If you're going to go, just go. And then you know what, next week or next time that comes around, maybe you just don't go. If you don't really want to go,
Right.
if you have to wear a mask, just don't go.
Just be
but like, it
kind.
doesn't make any sense to yell at somebody for it. If they just see that nobody shows up anymore, that would be plenty.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, but hopefully that'll change.
We're all
in the
doing our
future.
best.
Yeah.
Just be kind to everyone.
Just be kind.
Be nice to Biden.
Think about how you can, you know what? Here's homework for everybody. Homework for everybody. Every day this week until the next time that we do the show.
Okay.
And I want you to report back to me. It's rare@gmail.com. Or you can just comment on the Facebook page. I want you to let me know how this goes. What I want you to do is just every day get up and before you leave the house, try to think of some way that you can make somebody else's life better that day. Like something nice you can do for somebody, something that you can do that like either to help the world in general, or help somebody specific to just make them have a nicer day. Like maybe you think of a compliment that you can give to somebody, or that you can, if you're a kid, maybe you clean up your room so that your mom can be like, oh, wow, like you cleaned up your room and I didn't even have to ask you. Or you said,
are kids watching this?
Please and thank you. Kids, if you're watching this.
It's like, I don't think we have kids watching this. Please don't watch it.
But just like set that goal for yourself to at least try to make one or two people's like have a little bit better day.
I'm looking forward to knowing what you're doing. I think Jamie Sisson, just his existence is just enough for me.
I don't know. I just think that's a nice,
I think so.
Like, and by doing that, I guarantee that you'll have a better day too.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
So that's your homework. Just be kind. Yeah, just be kind. But like, just go out of your way just a little bit to like make somebody's day a little bit nicer, whatever it is.
And on that note,
we'll see where the day takes us. Hopefully more steak. I had 2 porterhouses for breakfast. So back on the meat wagon.
I see that. I had a dream about you.
Should we
No.
end?
We should end now.